Good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's live stream. Today we're going to be going through Security Plus Lab number 24. We're going to be identifying some browser attacks. So let's go ahead and jump right into this one. Again, if you have any questions, leave a chat or email info@cyberkrafttraining.com. I'd be happy to help you. All right, let's go right into it. Okay, so this one's going to be identifying a browser attack. We have an interception proxy, which is a software that's used between the client and the server. Use like a man-in-the-middle or on-path attack, as it's called. Usually the term you'll see on the test is man-in-the-middle attack. So allow the request from the client to be intercepted and then forwarded to the server. So what we're going to be doing is we're using Burp Suite. Burp Suite's probably the most popular tool for this. And we're going to intercept communications between a client and a server through the browser. So let's go ahead and try that. I think the goal will be to get a password, essentially. All right, so we have Kali, we have DC1, MS1, Managed Server 1, Domain Controller 1. We have a Linux machine here. So it looks pretty straightforward. All right. So first we're going to see how cross-site scripting works. And I definitely recommend you take a look at my video on where I did a cross-site scripting attack using Bbox. And it's a great tool if you want to practice these types of web application attacks in a controlled environment. So basically, this is explaining what a cross-site scripting attack. Okay, there's two sources of inputs. User typed input through a form or control. So basically like a blog post, the user can type in some information there, or interpreting parameters from a URL. This is saying that cross-site scripting vulnerabilities or vulnerability testing on a website focuses on script-based pages such as PHP. PHP is used in a lot of script-based websites anymore. So we're going to use Burp Suite to probe a website and determine if there's any weaknesses there. And then we're going to host the forum on Multiday, which is kind of like Bbox. It's an intentionally buggy or poorly configured web application. Most of them are, unfortunately. You can get that here. You can get that on GitHub too if you want to practice around with it. All right, so we're going to open up Kali here. We're going to open up Firefox. And then we're going to set up our proxy. And I'm just going to go preferences here. You can also do preferences about those preferences, but it's easier to just access it through the menu there instead of typing in the browser bar. We're going to network settings, click settings. We're going to manually configure our proxy. All right, and then we're going to type in some information here. 127.0.0.1, port 8080. Commonly used port for HTTP. And then we're going to go ahead and check that. Use this proxy server for all protocols. Hit OK. That means any requests we send to Firefox are going to go to that proxy server. All right. Now we're going to open up Burp Suite. We can access this here. We can also access this through the Kali menu. Let's just go ahead and click on the shortcut here. I think we have to accept this. We do. Okay. We're going to go ahead and do a temporary proxy. Next. We're going to use the defaults. Let's see. Next to the rest of the setup and default settings. Okay, so we're just going to start Burp Suite. That's fine. And Burp Suite's going to be out of date because this lab's pretty old. But Burp Suite's still, I highly recommend trying out Burp Suite. This is a very important lab just to develop your cybersecurity skills. It's also very important for the test too, because you might have some Burp Suite commands. Excuse me. Sorry. All right. So let's see. Now we're going to, it says to configure the Burp Suite windows so we can see them both together. With the size they give you in the lab, that's pretty impossible. So what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to basically minimize. I'm going to make this one as small as possible so we can look at Burp Suite. Hopefully, with how fast the lab goes, this will be possible. All right, then we're going to type in this address to connect to that multi-day. http:/10.1.0.10/multi-day. Make sure nope. Oh no, it's Mutilidae, right? Mutilidae. Mutillillidae. If you've watched my labs before, you know I'm notorious for misspelling, particularly in the Linux labs. But that's okay. I want you guys to be okay with misspelling these commands. All right, add to your blog separated with dashes .php. Now, when you're so bad at misspelling, you get some tricks of the trade. One of these is whenever you type something in, highlight everything with Control A, then Control C, copy it in case you mess it up, then execute it. Let's see if that worked. It's working. We're looking here on, the website's not going to load here. So I think we did it right. Were we supposed to start? No, we need to start freaking Burp Suite. My bad. Okay, so let's just, since I copied that, we can type it in real quick. No problem. So now we need to start Intercept. Oh, Intercept was on. Okay, let's just send that again. Let's send that again and watch the Intercept screen. But since I copied that, I could paste it. Boom. There we go. So it is working. Now we see our command there, our HTTP GET request. Okay, and that's coming through to Burp Suite just fine. Now what we can do is we can take actions here. We can send this and we can forward this on. We can modify this request. We can change what the browser is sending to the server. So we can modify that. Say a user is accessing YouTube. Okay, we can change that to say that the user is accessing their bank, or maybe they're accessing their bank account. We can look at what their password is. Lots of malicious tools you can do. If you can establish a man-in-the-middle presence, you can basically control all the web traffic the user is doing. Okay. All right. In Burp Suite, note the content of what the browser is sending to the server. Yep. Now we can go ahead and forward this. That's just a button. Go ahead and forward that. Now we watch. Now it opens up. Okay, as soon as we hit that forward button, this opens up because we're allowing that request to go through. All right. Now we have another request here for a JPEG icon. So what we can do is we can forward that. All right. Now let's see if we can get it so we can see both of these, at least a little bit. All right, I'm going to go ahead and forward that. There we go. Now this finished loading. And, oh no, I dropped the request. Dang. That's fine. We'll just do it again. And this is why we copied that. Why we copied that command. Boom. Forward that. This starts to load. And I think that should be fine. Okay. And now it's running from its cache, so it doesn't need to reload that JPEG. Okay. Okay, forward that. Okay, this is working fine. Okay, now in the browser we can type a message. Now this is a form here, okay? We could type in a message here, and we could save our blog entry, okay? Boom. We see that immediately, and you see Burp Suite immediately switches to itself. We don't have to do anything. We see this add to your blog PHP submit button. This is the best message ever. That's the message. We can go ahead and forward that. And we go back to Firefox, and now we see that our message has been sent there. So we're fine. All right. Yeah, and this was a post request as opposed to, and we can see these. This was a post request instead of most of these, which were GET requests. So you can look at your HTTP history here and see each of the requests that have gone through and what we've done. Okay. We even have MIME, the MIME type there as well. Remember, you have MIME and SMIME. SMIME is the secure version of MIME. Pretty straightforward. If you missed that one on the test, just stop watching my videos. There's no hope for you. Okay. So we could just turn off intercept. With turn off intercept is on by clicking that button. And then let's go ahead and check a vulnerability here by testing some sort of injection. We're going to do an injection attack, essentially. So we're going to go to HTTP history. All right. Now we're going to locate this post, and we're going to modify this request in some way, and then we're going to send it back to the website. All right. So now what we can do is we can we're going to modify this, right? Yeah, right-click this, send to repeater. Okay. Now we open up a repeater tab. Here's our request. And in the blog entry box, we're going to see blog entry. Okay. We say equal. Let's see. This is the best message ever. And then we're going to add this code here. Use these carrots, script, alert, space, parameter, gotcha, caret slash script. That's how you close it out. You have to start with script, you end with slash script, much like HTML coding. All right, now we're going to do that. Oh yeah, we need to do this in the parameters. What am I doing? Let me delete this. This is the wrong section here. I mean, we could do this here. You can do it here. You can modify the raw output here, but let's do what the lessons ask us to do. In the parameters here, what we can do, we find the blog entry box. There we go. Okay, blog entry box. Now we can modify it here. And all this is going to do is do exactly what we just did. It's just going to make it a little user-friendly for us. Okay, so we could have done it the way I just did it. But we can do it here, and it's going to put it in the exact right spot. And I'll show you how that gets reflected once we go back to the raw output. Gotcha. / script. Okay. Boom. Click off of that. Go back to raw, and then you see that the same thing is put there, right? No problem. Okay. And then we can go to the blog entry line, right-click, and then request in browser in original session. All right. We're going to copy this, okay? Then we're going to go back to our browser here. We're going to open up a new tab, paste that, and we're going to go ahead and enter. So now we have an alert that comes up when we access this page. So basically what we did, we modified that initial request. We added this script in there. And now whenever we navigate to this page, we get this gotcha message. These hackers in the CompTIA labs, they're the most nefarious hackers in the entire world. I mean, if you saw this, your whole day would be ruined. You'd probably quit cybersecurity. They're kind of script kiddies in these CompTIA labs. That's okay. All right. And then we can see, we have another post here saying we have the best message ever. This is an example of cross-site scripting. Okay, so when another user accesses this page, they're going to see this message. So like, for example, we resend the request here, and now as a new user, we access this page, we get this gotcha message too. All right, wonderful. Now, of course, we resent that message, so that's why this is happening right away. You know, we see two duplicate messages because we included the script as part of that initial post request. So we've duplicated the post request essentially and added that script. Hope that makes sense. Any questions so far? Okay. Great. And if you do have a question, don't hesitate to reach out. All right, now we can save this, go back to Burp Suite, go to parameters, right click, save this, save item. We can save in the root with a file name script, and that's the only reason we're doing that. Well, one, you can save this for future attacks if you're a whiz-bang hacker, or we can just do that to get scored here, okay? And we did that correct. So wonderful. All right, so let's go back to Firefox. Let's make sure the intercept's on. I think we're good. There's a lot we can do with Burp Suite. We're not really, I don't think we're going to be able to do it in this lab, but I definitely recommend playing around with it. Remember, in these labs, you're never going to break anything, so go nuts, you know? Okay, let's go ahead and type this in. Now, this is a password reset request for looks like an email, just from reading the script there. So we're going to type this in, http://pwd-reset.515web.net/reset password. Okay. Man, this is a long one. Okay. All right. .php username equals Jan H at alt email equals J Smith %40, which is at email.foo. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're sending a password reset for this username, Jan H at altmail, and then we're sending that to jansmith40 at email.foo. Okay, so we're requesting a password reset to this email address, Jan at email.foo, jsmith at email.foo. So first off, use my little trick, Control-A, Control-C, enter that, see if that works. Now we're gonna go back to Burp Suite because Burp Suite's holding this for us. Intercept. Oh, intercept's off. We got to put intercept on. Let's go back again. If we have if your user, your target loads that page and Burp Suite community error comes up, they might get a little suspicious. I'm just saying. Okay, anyway, we load that in. We have this. Okay, here's the reset password request. Got it. Yeah, and right here it tells us URL contains reset to be sent to jsmith at email.foo for jan at 515web.net. Yeah. Okay. All right, so now we go HTTP history. We see this request. Okay, we're going to do the second one. We have a get request there. We're going to send this to our repeater. That's how we modify things. Okay, then you see repeater lights up in orange. We're going to navigate to that, go to parameters here. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to change the email address where this is sent to. So we have the alt email. We don't see that. Oh no, we need to send this, don't we? We do need to send this. It doesn't say to send it, but we should send it. Let's go ahead and forward that. I think we would have to do that to get this value. Could be wrong there. Let's see. Sender repeater, parameters. We just have the URL. Request panel. I may have misspelled this. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at what I did there. I'll just go to one of these other tabs. Let's go to this first tab. All right, let me look at this. HTTP pwd-reset.515web.net. Yep. Reset password.php. Question mark username equals janh at alt email equals jsmith %40 email.foo. That looks right. Let's try the first GET request that we did. Let's send that to repeater. Because we should have a different parameter here. Yeah, I don't see it here. Select the repeater tab. Select the params tab. And the alt email value field. I mean, are they just discussing? I think they're just talking about this. They don't make this very clear. I always try and observe this as if I'm a student, going through the lab. I think what they mean is this value field. They should really just say under the URL type, I don't know, they could explain this a little better. So basically what we're doing is we're going to be changing, where the password request is sending to. So what we're going to do here is replace that jsmith at email.foo, okay, with mal %40, that's at evil.foo. Okay. And that should be fine. Yeah, you see here though, they have a different, there's another value there. And that's not what we're seeing. We're not seeing an alt mail value. And I'm not sure why we're not seeing that. Okay, I don't think that's quite going to work, but let's go ahead. We'll change what we can here. If we did see this value, we would right-click this and request in browser in original session. Copy it. Go back. Yeah, that's not working here. I mean, it's failing to load, but it's giving us the... Let's see. That's fine. I mean, it's failing to load. It's not quite doing what it should be. That's sometimes these labs get like that. The instructions lead you to a route that doesn't quite work. It's okay. That's why we do these walkthroughs. Okay, but basically the purpose of this, even though this isn't going to load, the infrastructure is not in place to actually do this type of attack. What we're seeing here is we could, as attackers, do these exact steps, send this to the repeater, okay? And then from here, we can modify the different parameters, modify where that password reset email is being sent to, and then we as attackers can send that to our personal email, use that password reset, and get the user's password. So we would see that request here normally. Okay. Now, what value would be displayed in the alt email? This should be, you guys have any, I mean, if this worked correctly, we should see this because we modified that. We modified that value to be mal or malicious user at evil.foo. All right. Now we can save this. Honestly, we could save whatever we want. So it's asking us to save an item and name it as alt email. We can go to our repeater here. We can right click this. We could save item, save in the root directory, and we could kind of trick the lab here. So we're going to hack the lab, alt email. And I'm just going to save a file called alt email. Honestly, any type of file that's a Burp Suite file would work here. So this should work here, and that's correct. We fooled the lab. Great job, go us. Yep. All right, so fantastic. All right, can anybody help me answer these questions here? Which of the following best explains why the URL is vulnerable? You can just answer 1, 2, 3, or 4. Be intercepted, edited, and forwarded. An older unpatched web browser was used for the connection. HTTPS was not in use. The destination website spoofed legitimate password change site. Anybody on YouTube or Discord? I'm seeing 3s. 3s? Not quite. It's a good mindset, though. I mean, that would definitely help. It would help if we were doing an external attack, but if we're established as a man-in-the-middle presence, it doesn't matter if the request is encrypted or not. We're intercepting it before it even... We're intercepting it at the browser. Okay, so it doesn't matter if it's being encrypted once it leaves our browser. We're seeing it as the browser makes the request there. All right, 1s. That's good. Okay, so it can be intercepted, edited, and forwarded on. That's essentially, the URL itself was the problem there. Okay, and then for number 2, just say 1, 2, or 3. Which of the following answers best describes a process URL injection attack against Jan Smith's email password reset attempt? Threes? Yeah. Great job. Yeah, so what we did, we changed that email that the password reset was going to be sent to that evil.foo. And that's where the attacker is going to be waiting for that email to come in. All right, great job. All right, so we can grade this. We got everything right. Fantastic, gold star, 100% effort. Great work. All right, now I hope that was helpful for everybody. Fantastic job today. And if you guys are interested in Security Plus training, I definitely recommend checking out the links in the description. We have a live class, we have self-paced class for Security Plus. If you're going to Black Hat this year, Cyberkraft's going to be a vendor at Black Hat. We're going to have a booth there, so come check us out. We'll be near the Arsenal section at Black Hat. So if you want to stop by, say hi, I'll be there all 2 days, 9th and 10th, or 8th, 9th. And I'll be there the whole time, but I'll be in the booth on the 8th and the 9th if you want to stop and say hi. So I hope this is helpful for everybody. A fantastic job today. And thanks for all the participation. Hope you guys have a